Sorry, I have to use a voice note to say this because it's quite a lot we need to say. So, I believe we are on the drawing board right now, where we have to strategize. Following this, some of the celebrities and the feminist group that started or moved the protests online and all that. The agreement was these people have taken to violence to get back at us because they see us gathered physically. So, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's put it in the minds of every Nigerian youth, especially those ones who do not have access to education, who do not understand that what the Constitution even is or what it looks like. I tell people that every Nigerian should have a Constitution. At least every family should have a copy of the Constitution. Have it on your phones. It is very available. You can download it in your phones. Then, each time we discuss something here, you can go to a session as will be put in this place, and then you see for yourself. We have to start by emancipating the mind. Freedom of the mind is very, very important. It is when the mind is free, when you know what you are aiming at, that's when you can tell that person, or you don't need to tell somebody not to go and carry gun or not to sell their votes. Because by then they already realize the evil in it. Now when I sell my vote, these people that give me money to come into power, when they come into power, money that is supposed to use to do roads, for feeding, for whatever what they are supposed to do in the country, first of all, they will channel it back to the money they gave you to vote. So how much are they giving you? 10,000 naira for 4 years, while you wallow in penury. It doesn't make sense at all. And that's the reason why we need to begin to open people's minds. Whenever I see people discussing politics, it is my fault. I somehow try to make sure that I drive them down the right path. Because when I see people discussing politics, most times the angle they are heading towards is far from what it should be. We should let them know the ideal thing, what politics should look like. We'll let them know what is realistic or what is actually happening, realism, and then we look for a way to merge both idealism and realism so that we can take Nigeria. Bertolt Brecht, a political thinker, once said, the highest illiterate in the world is the politically illiterate. He says to himself, I have no need of politics. It does not concern me. But he fails to realize that the cost of living, the price of fish, the price of beans, rice, foodstuffs, clothes, and everything that affects his everyday life are as a result of political decisions. Everything you do, even if you say, hey, after all, I'm an engineer, at the end of the day, you drive on roads. How do we come about roads? Hospitals, you go to hospital. How do we get the hospitals? The police on the street securing you. How safe is your life? Whether you like it or not, you must face political decisions. And that's why they say man is a political animal. We are born with it. We cannot do against it. He said, what these people fail to understand is that you hit your chest and say it does not concern me. I have a video where 2 girls sold their vote and they were celebrating. Hey, I don't sell my vote. I will chop the money. I'm going to say yes on my own share. And I was just shaking my head like this. Oh, come on, this is bad. So it's high time we begin to open our eyes. It is these political thieves, these corrupt politicians, they are the worst enemy of all. They are worse than any other crime you can think of because they are the ones that give rise to every other crime. In a stable society where everything works, do you think that people will be bothered about carrying guns to go and steal? When you have food to eat, you have good accommodation, there is road, you are working, and you can actually own properties on your own because you can pay instrumentally 10% every month from your salary. Why won't you own a car? Now, if you have all these things working for you, why will a politician come and tell you that he will give you peanuts to help you better your life and then use you as a thug? That's why they don't want us to have these basic amenities, so that they can continue to suppress us, so that you can continue to look up to them. But the moment you take away that thing from them, the moment you make them realize that we don't depend on you, we don't need your money, fuck off, then they know that, they've lost their power. That is the only hold they have against us. They impoverish the people and then buy them with money. And then drum it into the minds of, they always use religion and tribalism to segregate us, divide and rule system. It's high time we begin to open our minds. It's high time we begin to see that, hey, come on. When you have your friends, start with your discussion with your friends. What do you talk about when you guys are together? Then from your friends, your compound, for those who live in compounds where you have a large number of persons, sometimes you discuss political things and you let them know. You can't continue to run away from it. The moment you run away from politics, what you are telling the politician is you have given them a free hand to continue what they are doing. It's like saying we want to prepare indomie to eat, and then all of us are hungry, no food, and the indomie no go even reach. And then somebody say, why then go prepare the indomie together with egg? And then they chop indomie, if you mix them with egg, and no go chop again. What will the rest of us do? We'll be very happy that you are not eating. Say that at least the indomie will reach us now. In fact, anytime we prepare indomie, we will put that egg so that you don't go chop. That's what the politicians are doing. They want to do things that will drive us away from politics so that they can have a hold on the national cake. Because the moment people begin to open their eyes, the moment people begin to see, the moment people begin to get involved, that is when they lose their power over it. And you see that gradually, if you've noticed, gradually from 2015 down, things are changing. It's a slow process, but it is changing because they are now beginning to see that people are becoming politically conscious. So there is need for us to put this in the minds of people. The ordinary man on the street, the young boy growing up, that this is your right, this is what you should know. These are things Martin Luther King and the rest of them did that emancipated the blacks in America. And this is what we need to do in Nigeria. There is no country that is existing today among the developed countries that don't have a high level of political education. So we have to care. You have to follow news. You have to watch it on TV. You have to follow it online. You have to know what is happening. It is only when you are politically alive that you can be able to fight the system and change the system. If not, you continue to remain where you are. And you wallow away just like that. This is not what we want. So it's high time we begin to stand. Let us start gradually from this. Gradually. I'll be dropping things. And then we can share. You can reach out to other people. Any other person here that is also involved or experienced or good at politics, law, and the rest can also drop as well. Break it down to the simplest English so that the common man can see on a placard and smile and say, oh, so this actually is my right. I never knew. And then the fire begins to burn in them. We're lighting that fire. And that is how we can get these people out. Because without it, you can't use violence. You can't use violence. So, the best way is a social revolution. That is the best way. And social revolution has to work with enlightening the minds. Coming out to vote. Every election since I was 18, I have voted in every election. People will always say it doesn't count. Of course, it won't count because you are not there to watch and follow the process and everything. But I have been at least in your polling units where you vote, you counted, you stayed, you counted. There in that polling unit, you can testify the number of persons that vote and the party that won there. But now, as all of us are opening our eyes and joining in the process, we are taking over.